And let me know when it's good to go, Megan.
I think we're good.
Okay, cool. I count this meeting to order at 7:06 p.m. Thank you all for showing up. Appreciate it. So let's go ahead and start with it. If there are any amendments to the agenda for today. Eva?
Can we please strike the Bruin Advocacy Grant and the GROWS allocations, please?
Yep. Sujana? Sujana?
I'm
You're
so
muted.
sorry. Oh, yeah. Sorry. It wasn't letting me unmute myself. But I would like to strike ASRF and TGM allocations. And then the person in my office presenting for textbook affordability is going to be traveling until like 8:30. So is it possible to move that presentation to new business?
To new business?
Yeah, just to kind of give her more time to join.
Sure, that's fine.
If not, I think we should. Okay.
Yeah, cool. Okay. We'll go to Lucy.
Can we please strike capital contingency?
Sounds good. Okay, Sarah?
We strike BOD.
Cool. And Megan?
I'm going to add a appointment for Academic Senate Committee on Undergraduate Relations, Admissions, and Relations with Schools. I'm going to add Ella Kohler.
Sounds good. Any other amendments to the agenda before we get started? Okay, thank you. All right, so can I have a motion?
I move to approve the agenda for the November 21st USAC.
Second.
Have a second. Shujana motions, Megan seconds. On fair, please raise your hand. Sorry, I forgot. Please lower your hands. All right. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. With a vote of 10 to 0 to 0, the agenda is approved. Okay. Hope everyone got a chance to look at the minutes from last meeting. If you had any changes, make sure you had let that know to Sydney. But besides that, can I have a motion to approve our minutes from last week?
I motion to approve.
Second.
All right, Jonathan motions, Eva seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. With a vote of 10 to 0 to 0, that is approved. Thank you. Okay, so now we'll be opening up time to public comment. Just a reminder of our community guidelines. Challenge ideas, not individuals. Gender inclusive and respectful language. Freedom of speech does not mean freedom of accountability. Each speaker will be given 2 minutes and the opportunity to speak once. Please refrain from dehumanizing language. And with that, we are going to start public comment. Please raise your hands and we'll go ahead and call on folks. And yeah. Let's go ahead and start. Clara, sorry.
Hello, wait, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Oh, okay, cool. Hi, this is Claire from CalPERG. Just want to do a quick update on what we did the past week. So the biggest thing is that our vice chair and the coordinator for our New Voters Project campaign, Natalie, she went to DC this past week to attend the EPA National Youth Advisory Council. So that was really cool. She and a student from Berkeley and Santa Barbara got to talk to other youth leaders from across the country about issues like climate change. The other thing was last week was Hunger and Homelessness Awareness Week. This is like the week before Thanksgiving. It's like a week of action for across the whole country. It's like more organizations are involved than just the student perks. It's like a a week of service essentially. And then update for the rest of the quarter. We have a bunch of cool events planned for the rest of like the last 2 weeks of school. The thing I'll shout out in particular is that week 9 we're gonna do a big 100% renewable energy at UCLA awareness push. And we're gonna make a super awesome interactive mural that students will be able to actively participate on campus. So yeah, that's what we're doing. Thank you guys so much for listening. Also, sorry my voice sounds like this. I'm not feeling super well right now. But thank you guys. I hope you have a good rest of your meeting.
Thank you, and I hope you feel better. Next, we'll be moving to Bella.
Hi, can you guys hear me?
Yep.
Awesome. So good evening. My name is Bella Brannon, and I'm the president of Hillel and editor-in-chief of Ha'am, which is our Jewish newspaper. I have a couple of items to discuss. Firstly, I'm really disappointed by the discussion item last week to defund the Daily Bruin. It's a pretty disgraceful precedent to defund our student-run newspaper because someone may disagree with some individual writer's opinions. The nature of the press is that you should be confronted by things that cause you to think differently and give you a new perspective. And instead of thinking critically about the perspectives not shared or encouraging students to write op-eds and share their perspectives, CAC endeavored to downright destroy them. As a journalist, I can't even begin to express my dismay at the discussion item. But either way, that power is under the ASUCLA Communications Board, and all that occurred out of that discussion was sowing hatred and intolerance among students when we really don't need it. Secondly, I want to echo the sentiments of Rachel Burnett's public comment last meeting. We are seeing anti-Semitism and Islamophobia skyrocket on campus as tragic ripple effects of the war in the Middle East, and no student should be made to feel unsafe. Both anti-Semitism and Islamophobia do not belong on our campus, and both must be condemned. I repeat her suggestion of resolutions with action items condemning both anti-Semitism and Islamophobia and expressing a commitment to keep both communities safe. Thirdly, the Latinx Student Center is long overdue. I applaud the effort to see it and hope it is created. I was disappointed by the statements made against Gabby and Sarah last week. Latino Jewish students do exist and should be included in this important effort. Finally, after inappropriate comments about Hillel, which is the pluralistic Jewish community on campus, at a previous meeting, Hillel invited all USAC officers to join our community for lunch. This offer still stands, and I hope you consider meeting our community, enjoying some of our kosher food before anyone makes an assumption. So please message us on Instagram if you want to meet our community. Thank you.
Thank you. Moving to Jackie.
Hi, can everyone hear me? Hello?
Yes.
Okay, sorry. Hi, my name is Jackie Barragan. I'm the editor-in-chief for La Gente news magazine, the Latinx news magazine on campus. I'm here today because I wanted to comment on what happened in last week's USAC meeting. La Gente news magazine was one of the supporting organizations for the resolution for USAC to voice its support for the Latinx Resource Center. That was passed last Tuesday, and we're very happy to hear that it passed, but we are concerned with some of the comments that were made by council members regarding its content. The Latinx community is incredibly diverse and has been historically underserved throughout the time that UCLA has been an institution. And we found it disrespectful that council members do not belong or do not form part of the community would attempt to halt its passing. Our community is already very fractured, and so for the council members to further fracture it was incredibly harmful to the Latinx community. We ask that the council members involved apologize for their actions that harmed our community, whether or not that was their intention. We invite them to learn about the Latina community further via publications such as ours, where we strive to give a voice to the Latina community via our print and digital issues. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Okay, next, the last name is Gomez Williams. Will you please tell me how to pronounce your first name once you get on the mic?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
My name is Sitlali. That's how you pronounce the first name. Okay. Hello, my name is Sitlali Gomez Williams, and I am the coordinator for Grupo Folclórico de UCLA. I wanted to talk in this public comment for USAC today, due to what happened last week with the USAC resolution in support of establishing a Latinx Success Center. Grupo Folclórico de UCLA was one of the supporting organizations for the resolution passed last Tuesday. While we are incredibly excited that this resolution has passed, since it helps since it helps further the community that my organization has sought to build. However, we were incredibly disappointed to hear that some council members attempted to halt its passing due to personal concerns. It was disrespectful for them to halt the passing of this resolution, especially in light of the relatively divided Latin community at UCLA. I am here on behalf of my organization to ask for the involved council members to apologize to the Latin community. Whether they meant to hurt or not, that is what we felt with the attempted delay of the past resolution, especially as UCLA intends to become a Hispanic serving institution and is the last UC to establish a Latin resource center. We hope that you all can further educate yourselves about the diversity of the Latin community via organizations such as ours, who perform to bring culture and represent the values of our community. Thank you.
Thank you for your time. Next, we'll be moving to Ellie.
Sorry, I didn't realize I had to unmute. There we go. Hello, my name is Ellie and I'm Hillel VP. I'm here to discuss a worrying offhand comment made at last week's USAC meeting during public comment. The sound tech working last week's USAC meeting was told to turn off the mic at the end of a public comment as a part of his job responsibilities. The person on the mic stated that, and I quote, "You let the fucking Hillel guy turn off the mic," despite the sound tech not being a part of public comment nor publicly identifying as Jewish in that moment. Although the sound tech is Jewish and an incredible member of our Hillel community, I am deeply disturbed by this language. I hope and pray that no one on this campus would be comfortable referring to someone as the fucking Jewish guy, but that's what it sounds like. I'm worried that on this campus, Jewish students are treated as the other, that the Jewish organization Hillel is being cast as a representative of all Jewish beliefs and students on this campus. Personally, I've never been more aware of my Jewishness and the way that I feel othered from my peers, merely because of the political beliefs people automatically, I assume, I hold. We are told that our support as Jews on critical measures improving the school are unwelcome. Jewish students are so diverse. Our backgrounds, countries of origin, ethnicities, political beliefs, religious beliefs, and connections to Israel can never simply be defined by Hillel. Jews on this campus are not fucking Hillel guys. We're your friends and your classmates, and we are so tired of feeling identified and othered by our Jewishness and our belonging to the organization Hillel. So in conclusion, let us be a part of your initiatives. The actions of a Jewish state halfway across the world do not negate your responsibility as Bruins to be inclusive and kind. Like Bella, our wonderful president, mentioned earlier in this meeting, I strongly encourage you to join us at Hillel before making any assumptions. Please join us for lunch. Reach out to us on our Instagram. We're so happy to host and show you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Moving to Zoe.
Hello.
Hello, I can hear you.
Hi, my name is Zoe and I'm a member of Hillel. I watched last week's council meeting and I'm appalled by the words and statements from the members of this council. As a Jewish student, I do not feel supported by my student government. I want to share my support for Gen Rep 2 and FCC's sentiments, especially because anti-Semitism is on the rise, both on this campus and beyond it. Jewish students are being excluded from spaces, and we want to echo statements about the necessity for Latinx Jewish students being explicitly included in the Latinx Center. It is imperative that we receive assurance we are included. I also want to express my support for this center, and I'm excited about the Latinx community to have this long overdue space on campus. Thank you to the council members that support our community.
Moving to Hannah.
Hello, I also want to give my public comment on last week's discussion on the Latina Resource Center being opposed by multiple people. I don't like that they're trying to frame pro-Palestinian stance as anti-Semitic. It not only wrongly labels pro-Palestinian students as anti-Semitic, but also ignores how people who are underrepresented and people of color in the Jewish community are being excluded and ignored. I am a Mexican Jew on campus, and as Latina Jew, I understand that the same factors that Zionism is built on are very similar to the colonization and genocide of indigenous peoples in Mexico and across all Latin America, the committing of the atrocities such as the dispossession of land and genocide of indigenous peoples in the name of religion. This includes racism, discrimination, apartheid, colonialism, white supremacy, and the violence needed for the creation of a nation state. It is because of these atrocities and violence that our people went through that I will not support Zionism. And when these decisions try to punish all Latinas for these quote-unquote anti-Semitic acts, you are ignoring the presence and history and the systems of oppression Latinas face and why we even need these resource centers. Because despite Latinos population growing in LA and California and the entire nation, our people face exploitation, discrimination, and violence, whether in our workplaces or in the militarized border of Mexico or through hate crimes. We do not have the same opportunities as white people. Imagine the level of exclusion Jews of color feel when predominantly to fully white Jewish spaces on campus and outside keep supporting these racist colonial ideologies. Our identities as people of color do not vanish when we are in Jewish spaces. Arguably, they become more apparent and suffer discrimination and exclusion on the basis of our race and ethnicity. I would also like to give my personal experience. I come from a very low-income area near downtown LA in a predominant Latino community where people have to work a lot, sending money back to their homelands and barely surviving themselves. Zionists like to play the oppression Olympics and be victims and try to use the label of being indigenous and referring to the rightful claim.
We're gonna have to end the public comment for now, for the 2-minute mark.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Next one, moving to Ryan.
Hi, my name is Ryan Factora. I currently serve as one of the co-presidents of Samahang Filipino, one of the 10 mother organizations, and I'm here today to express my community's unwavering solidarity with the Latinx community and to express my gravest disappointment in the conduct of General Representative Gabby Lazary and Financial Supports Commissioner Sarah Brookham in their attempts to clearly impede discussions concerning the recent USAC resolution in support of a Latinx resource center. From our perspective, it seems very evident that these council members were attempting to exploit the current political dynamics surrounding the genocide in Palestine to block the allocation of resources to our sister community, one of UCLA's largest minority communities. The Latinx Resource Center would likely be based off of existing resource centers such as the Black Bruin Resource Center, which intrinsically by their nature serve students of all religious backgrounds, since the primary social identity of concern is race. Our races in our communities, surprise, surprise, contain people of all religions, which is why services like the Black Bruin Resource Center, services even like the Campus Retention Center, which I serve on, which I chaired, which I've been on for 3 years, and I've seen how these projects operate, we never have to clarify what religions we serve because we recognize it's just a fact. All of our racial communities contain a multiplicity of religions. Declining an endorsement from a singular organization on campus does not equate to excluding an entire religious community. It is so clear that these actions are not being executed in good faith because there have been so many discussions about the Black Bruin Resource Center and resolutions about the Black Bruin Resource Center, and they were never stalled because they did not receive Halal's endorsement. In general, prior discussions about the allocation of resources to different communities of color have never been stalled because they did not receive Halal's endorsement. Moreover, instead of seeking endorsement, the resolution was fully open for a week. Lazary and Brookham could have asked for the resolution's language to be changed to emphasize its accessibility to Jewish students, and asking for the language to be changed would have done so much more than an endorsement. It's performative.
Moving to Eliana.
I don't think Eliana's hand is raised anymore.
Oh,
Oh, never mind.
yeah, okay.
Okay, perfect. So I just want to express my support for the Gen Rep 2 and Financial Supports Commissioner because they're awesome, and also because how this started was literally what's what I'm talking about. Oh, they were trying to block the Latinx student center, which would be messed up if it was true, but literally the way it started was them offering Hello support and them being told that their support was Hello support was not wanted. And yeah, when you have Hello being the predominant Jewish organization, when you have a predominant organization for any community being told that you don't want to work with them or accept their support, that is going to raise concerns and may delay your efforts. Like, that's on you. Like, that naturally raises a concern. And yeah, I think the way folks are framing this is pretty inaccurate largely, and is contributing to a pretty messed up environment for the Jewish community. And also want to comment on what folks were saying of last week, that the awesome tech guy who was just doing his job, like according to USAC's rules, oh, he's a fucking Hello guy. Like, it's really pretty egregious, frankly, for folks just because to bring in, someone's affiliation with, again, the biggest Jewish organization on campus. Well, maybe together with Chabad, but I feel like a lot of the folks who are saying this stuff would not like Chabad either. So if we all are going to say that folks are affiliated with big Jewish organizations, then that makes them suspicious, even what they're doing has nothing to do with that. And that's pretty anti-Semitic. And that's the sort of thing we all need to reject in this community. Thank you so much.
Okay. Moving forward, we have Jeffrey.
Hi everyone, my name is Jeffrey Umaña Munoz. Use he, him, his pronouns. I'm here today as the co-chairperson of Ideas at UCLA, or Undocumented Student Organization, and also as the internal chairperson of Mecha the UCLA, one of many Latinx student serving organizations on campus. I first really want to call out both the sentiments expressed by Lazary and Brahim, because I think it is really, really offensive to have people who are not part of your community mansplain and kind of just like step into the space and honestly like overstay their welcome and like, you know, tell a community how to organize. I think it's really offensive that you all immediately believe that one, Jonathan, General Representative 3, or any Latinx students on campus are inherently anti-Semitic. I think even the accusation that our Latinx Resource Center would not be open to Jewish students is highly, highly offensive, and I think is super, super like representative of all the dog whistling that you both have been doing your entire time on council, because I think that's all you're really earning your stipends for, dog whistling, because there's just so much discontent with all the work that, you know, not just they have done, but like council as a whole. You know, honestly, like you all could be focused on so much. I don't know where all of a sudden the interest in the Latinx Resource Center came from FSC and Gen Rep 2, and instead of supporting the one member on council who's actually you know, one of two who's actually Latina and trying to move these issues, is like very, very much like just really concerning and disheartening. I think, you know, there's so much going on this campus that, you know, could be paid attention to. Students are suffering financially all the time. Documented students are rallying. Literally last week almost got arrested for financial supports. Our FSC is nowhere to be found. Our Gen Rep 2 is nowhere to be found. But when endorsement season and election season comes around, you guys are promising the world and all the resources when you know that all you really want to do is take up space to earn a check for doing nothing. So it's absolutely ridiculous. You guys need to start doing your jobs and stop tearing down the people on this council that are actually representatives of communities that want to get things done for students.
Moving to our next public comment. I'm gonna try. Haroon Joe, and please correct me once you get on the mic. I'm so sorry.
Oh, hello. Yes, so I'm actually speaking on behalf of someone who could not come tonight because of a meeting, and his name is Sheldon Skovalov. So I'll just read this what he wrote. And so it begins with, my name is Sheldon Skovalov, and I'm a senior at UCLA in the theater and professional writing programs, and I'm a Latino Jew. As a Latina student on campus, I have long hoped that a Latina Resource Center would be established at UCLA, and I'm excited to hear that you're working towards this aspiration that many of us hold. I am excited and at the same time apprehensive, and would like to remind you that the people of Latin America are not a monolith, and that Latin America, like the United States, boasts great cultural, ethnic, racial, and religious diversity. To gatekeep the Latin American identity is to harken back to the caste system and blood quantum efforts established by the Spanish and Portuguese that are deeply rooted in our shared history. Jewish people have long been part of Latin American society, something which I write, publish, and think about extensively. Panama was the first country in modern times outside of Israel to have a Jewish head of state and would later elect a second one. The Argentinian voice of the World Cup, Andres Cantor, is a proud Jew. Musical legend Sammy Davis Jr. was a proud Cuban Jew. Claudia Sheinbaum, the former mayor of Mexico City and the current frontrunner for the presidency in Mexico, is a Latina Jew. Clarice Lispector, world-renowned Brazilian author, was a Latina Jew. In the resolution to establish the center, it has been made clear in your comments that Jewish support for this resolution was not welcome. Do you also intend to separate Latin Americans based on their nationality? Will Argentine students need to find their own nationality? Will Argentine students need to find their own cultural center because their country has engaged in war against other Latino countries? I would like to end by reminding the Council that conflating the Jewish population with the government of Israel is inherently anti-Semitic and is an accusation that plays into the extremely harmful dual loyalty trope.
And cut it off for me, Megan. Thank you. Now moving to Rachel. Rachel, you haven't gone yet, correct? Well, we'll just go ahead.
No, I haven't yet. Hi, my name is Rachel Burnett.
Okay,
Sorry. Hi. Okay, hi, I'm Rachel Burnett. I'm a fourth year at UCLA. I'm dual majoring in psychology and Middle Eastern studies. I wanted to give comment both to say that I am not Latina, but I obviously support the creation of a Latina Student Resource Center. I think that it is extremely important that students feel that they have a safe place to go. I know for me as a Jewish student, feeling that I have a safe place to go because of my identity is incredibly important. And so I'm sure that Latina students on campus would really appreciate having that kind of space. At the same time, though, while I appreciate sentiments that were said tonight saying that the center would, of course, be open to Latino students of all religious and ethnic backgrounds, I don't think those concerns are invalid. Jewish students right now are feeling incredibly unsafe and in many spaces that are not explicitly welcome for Jewish students. Many of us feel scared to be open about our identities. And so because anti-Semitism has been significantly on the rise in this country since October 7th, it's important for all spaces to make clear expressly that they are for Jewish students and they're against anti-Semitism. Regardless of the actions of the State of Israel, Jews should not be blamed for the actions of the State of Israel. At the same time, of course, students are free to share their opinions on the very complex geopolitical matter of Israel-Palestine, but that should not impede their support and care for students, whether they're Jewish, Muslim, Latino, whatever their background is. Thank you.
Thank you. With that, we are ending public comment at 7:35 p.m. Thank you all for your time. Moving forward, we are going into funding. So we first have up contingency programming with Lucy.
Hey guys. So this week we had a total contingency programming request of 32,440, and we recommend an allocation of 6,770 for 34 non-USAC entity and 2 USAC entity related events. Happy to answer any questions. I'm going to put this in the chat. And all of the more specific funding information is on the universal allocation sheet that's linked on the agenda.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Can I have a motion?
I move to approve the contingency funding for November 21st with a total, hold on, I'm pulling it up, with a total allocation of $6,770 to 34 non-USAC entities and 2 USAC entities.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Sarah motions. Was that Eva? Eva seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstain, please raise your hands. With a vote of 11 to 0, that is approved. Thank you. Now I'll be moving to SFS allocations.
Hi everyone. So for last week we had a total requested amount of 7,373 and a total allocation of 1,999 with three non-CSC affiliated organizations and 2 CSC affiliated organizations.
Thank you. Any opposition? Going once, going twice. Okay, that's approved. Now we'll be moving to SWC Programming Fund allocations. Janice?
Yep. Hi everyone. This week we received $0 in requests from USAC entities and then $2,353.48 from 7 non-USAC entities, and we're recommending an allocation of $889.48 to the 7 non-USAC entities.
Thank you. Any opposition? Going once, going twice. That is approved. Thank you. Moving to ARC allocations. Alicia?
Hi everyone. This week we approved an allocation of a total of $3,820 with 15 cents to 2 non-USAC entities.
Any opposition? Okay, that is approved. Okay, TGIF. Evan?
I think Evan's not here.
I don't believe he's
That
in
makes-
a proxy, but the amount should be in the universal funding document.
Okay. Well, it's we don't approve it, so it's just a statement, but okay. Let me try and pull it up. My Wi-Fi is kind of bad though, so let me see. If anybody can get to the number faster, it would be appreciated. Fernando.
Naomi, it's just a announcement, and we didn't have a TJF meeting today, so we can skip it.
Oh, okay, perfect. Thank you. Okay, so now we will be moving into special presentations. We have the Seat at the Table Initiative, Bruin Democrats. Are the Bruin Democrat presenters in the attendees list? And if so, please raise your hands. Okay, Cameron and Haley, perfect. We'll go ahead and promote you both.
Hi, so excited to be here. This is a really awesome initiative, so thank you for inviting us. Can I like share screen? Question mark.
Yeah, we should be able to give you that ability.
Is
Megan,
it
you
gonna
want?
be Cameron or Haley sharing screen?
It'll be me, Cameron.
Okay, perfect. I'll make you a co-host.
Perfect.
Okay, you should be good.
Okay, hello, awesome. Hi, everyone. I just want to introduce myself real quick. My name is Cameron Katz. My pronouns are he, him. I'm a 4th-year student at UCLA and the president of Bruin Democrats. We also have another one of our board members, Haley, here to present alongside me, if you'd like to introduce yourself as well.
Hi, I'm Haley. I'm the field director of Bruin Democrats this year. I use she, her pronouns, and I'm a 3rd year.
Awesome. So just to give a quick context into who exactly we are. So Bruin Democrats is a chartered club on campus. We are registered with Seoul, as well as being chartered through the California Democratic Party's California Young Democrats. We're also a part of the California College Democrats Caucus. So these are the larger parent organizations that we work with beyond UCLA's campus. Our mission is fivefold. We want to stimulate young people with an active interest in governmental affairs. We want to make sure that young people are actually gaining political power and finding work in the political realm. We want to make sure that we are increasing the efficiency of our governments and advocating for more justice in all aspects of government, as well as we act as the principal representative of democratic politics on UCLA's campus to the UCLA student body. And then lastly, we want to make sure that we are reaching out to freshmen and transfer students to provide a safe, fun, and enriching experience for all members of our club.
So this is a look at our board, the first half. They basically just help us run the club as smoothly as possible. And then if we want to look at the second part, this is the other half of our board. We wanted to mention that we have a freshman representative and a transfer representative to really help reach out to these communities and connect with them to try to get them more involved in our organization. And then we wanted to talk a little bit about our committee system. We overhauled this system and shifted it for this year to try to get better engagement from members in our club. So our committees play an important role in allowing us to function as a club as well. We currently have 4 committees, 3 of them are standing, and 1 is ad hoc for our career fair. The policy committee works on our club platforms and discusses key issues that matter to us as a club. Internal development focuses on retention and recruitment for our club to help us grow, fundraising, plans events, to help our club financially. And then the career fair committee, which is our ad hoc committee, assists in outreach and planning of our annual career fair that helps our members get connected with people working in the political sphere. And this year, instead of having a committee per board member, we've grouped them so that each board member works together with a couple of other members of board to run one committee so that it's more collaborative and collective as opposed to just one board member, one committee.
So here are just some examples of some recent programming we've run so far in the quarter. We like to make sure that we are not only educating our members about politics, but also having fun interactive experiences, such as when we covered basics of debate, and also opportunities for candidates who are running for election to come and speak with our club and potentially earn our endorsement. And then just some fun social opportunities, like just last week, we went over to USC's campus for a little rivalry week game of Jeopardy! We've also had debate watch parties where we watched and discussed the Republican debate. And then early in the quarter, we had an opportunity to go visit, to the beach and have a bonfire. Again, we like to make sure that we're balancing educational opportunities with social opportunities, with professional opportunities to make sure that we're providing a holistic experience for our club members. And looking forward to the next couple quarters, January, whenever we get back from break, is our professional development month. We like to host opportunities to talk about career development, important skills such as interviewing, resume building, etc., which all leads and accumulates in our 6th annual career fair, which we are bringing back in person for the first time since the pandemic. Again, this is a great opportunity for our club members to explore careers adjacent to law, politics, nonprofit work, democratic values. Is a really great opportunity. Many people, including myself, have gotten internships or work experience from this career fair. So it's really one of our kind of crown jewels in terms of events. After January, of course, we have the primary elections to focus on. So that's more talking about candidates, talking about issues that will be up on the ballot, as well as getting out the vote is a major one of our kind of concerns for after our professional development month. And then once the elections are over, we like to focus on our alumni network, really make sure that we're reaching out to Bruin Democrats from years past to make sure that our members are building connections and, getting a sense for what being a member of Brune Democrats can mean for your future. We will also be planning the first Alumni and Friends fundraiser since before 2018. This used to be one of our biggest events, but we haven't had it for the last few years. So one of our big goals for this year is to bring it back and really make sure that there's an opportunity for our members to kind of get an experience for what fundraisers are like, for interacting with alumni, political friends in the area, and we're really excited for that. And then here's just our contact info. If you ever want to learn more, you can visit our Instagram at BruneDems or our website, www.brunedemocrats.com. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out to info@brunedemocrats.com. We're always happy to answer any questions you may have.
Awesome. Thank you all so much. Is there any questions from council members? No. Okay, that's good. Well, Cameron and Haley, thank you so much for your time and presenting to us. Definitely informative, and definitely you'll have my follow already. Definitely amazing work that I'd love to see continue from your organization. And yeah, definitely be in touch about that alumni kind of in-person event too. So yeah, it'll be cool. All right, awesome. Well, have a good one, y'all, and enjoy the rest of your night.
Thank you so much. This is a great opportunity.
Thank you.
Okay. And then we will be moving forward with the USAC resolution guide, and that'll be given from Megan.
Hello. Okay, I'm gonna make this kind of quick. Let me share screen. Everyone ignore my tabs. But I made a little resolution guide for any council members who are having trouble writing resolutions, or for future council members who want to write resolutions in the future. It's kind of just basic rules that show what a resolution is, what it is in the bylaws, etc. I'm not gonna read the entire thing, but I can print out copies and give them to each council member when we're back in person. But essentially the section kind of just goes over what a resolution is. It kind of goes over what the resolution is meant to do. From our bylaws, they express the opinion of USAC on matters that do not subject the welfare of members of the association to a substantial harm, and represent the opinion of the current USAC council. So just some I think rules that I think everyone knows, that they must have at least 3 sponsors or 3 USAC members. So if you're writing a resolution, you can have 2 co-sponsors, and they can be 2 other council members, just anyone on council. You need to make sure that if there's contingency funding involved with it, you have to provide that within the resolution. You must have a majority vote to pass it. And then when it's posted, it actually will not include anyone's name. It'll just say USAC on the USAC website. So when you're writing and submitting a resolution, make sure you do your history, research your history and the current status of your issue. Contact any affiliated groups, orgs, administrators, etc. And then after you're done doing that, you have to get those 2 other USAC members to co-sponsor it before you can submit it to me. You should be emailing it to me by Friday 3 p.m. Before each USAC meeting, because I typically send out the agenda by latest by 5 p.m. And then I'll put it on the agenda for the next USAC meeting. When you're presenting your resolution, make sure it's usually in a Google document, make sure it's viewable and not editable to the public, just so that you can keep it the same as you were writing it. If it's on a PDF, just send me the Google Drive link and I'll add it. I'll link it to the agenda. Make sure you contact all student organizations you want to have present it, and make sure they know where the USAC meeting is, etc., etc. Sorry, still reading it. Make sure you get people to public comment if you would like. So any student organizations or affiliated groups, make sure they know exactly where the USAC meeting is, as well as whereas public comment is on the agenda. This kind of is all stuff we already know, but just attending the USAC meeting, resolutions can be presented as old business if they've already been presented, but if they are like new to the USAC meeting, they will be in new business. Resolutions do not have to be passed in like the same day as they're presented. You can always like wait like a week like we did last week. But you may be asked to present it like reading out the entire resolution, or you may be asked to summarize it based on the discretion of the USAC president. And then you can answer questions. So after you pass this resolution, you definitely should follow up with like any student organizations, affiliated groups, USAC members to make your resolution like a reality. So don't make it like a blank statement, or at least try to follow up with like action items and give like progress reports, be it like depending on the resolution timeline. And then you can even like come and present on like that progress report, or where your resolution is at, or if you need like support from the USAC members. And that's pretty much the entire guide. But I also made this like copy paste like template that members can use. So it just copies like the standard format that we usually use. And you can just copy and paste it whenever you like. You can always refer to past resolutions that are on the USAC website, just to like make it easier for you. It just has like a very basic template, and like I know like the whereases and like language, really old language that we use in resolutions can be kind of confusing. But like therefore be resolved is typically what you would say like when you're saying your action items. And then be it further resolved is typically at the end of the action items that you plan to do in your resolution. So typically everything ends with the be it further resolved, whereas everything else would be it therefore be it let it be resolved. But just wanted to make this for like any council members who were getting a little confused, or for any future council members who want to write resolutions. And then I can share this with everyone else later on. But does anyone have any questions?
Okay, cool. Yeah, thank you so much, Megan, for putting. Oh, did it work? Okay, yeah. So thank you so much for putting everything together. Yeah, I remember we talked about this a while ago, and just thinking about like how other schools had like resolution guides, and definitely that it was needed for our end as well. So thank you for putting together and adding in those sources. It turned out really great, better than I can ever imagine. So thank you so much for your work. Sujana.
Yeah, I just also wanted to say like thank you so much for the work to put it together. Also, like I appreciate the mention of the progress checks on resolutions. I think that's something cool that we could focus on, because we've been doing they really like it's great that we've been doing a lot of resolutions. And I guess also like the textbook affordability presentation that we're seeing tonight is a sort of progress update on the sign-on letters that I brought earlier in the meeting. So yeah, I hope that's something that we can keep doing. But thank you so much again for putting it together.
Cool.
Thank you, I appreciate it. And then I think the next thing is the appointments, but I just emailed the appointment to please come.
Okay, cool. But in the meantime, I will say next week, please, council members, be prepared with questions for our potential budget review director. Yay, finally got somebody. So definitely please do come with questions. It's a really important appointment that unfortunately has not been made yet, which I do apologize for. And so let's start thinking about those. And then, yeah. And Megan, you said you emailed
Yes, because the person Ella is actually on the SIOC, so she's currently in that meeting, but I emailed her to please transition over.
Okay.
I also like texted Ella to join, and she knew that she was supposed to join around this time, so she should be able to join in a sec, but I'm not sure how long we're able to wait if the agenda ready to be moved. I could give her a call as well.
Jessica, would it be okay if we start going into reports and then come back when Ella gets here?
Yes, that's fine. You can move on with your agenda.
Cool. Sounds good. Okay, so I'll just go ahead into my report in the meantime. I'm gonna update the written document after we get out of tonight's meeting. I've just been in back-to-back meetings today. So a couple different things. I had my meeting with the UCPD chief. As I also mentioned, I'm on the UCPD chief search committee because right now we have an interim chief. So that was a productive conversation. We also discussed definitely some feedback option. So definitely gather some feedback based off me and a few other council members discussion with our MSA meeting that will be going towards our visual idea that we'll be hosting in week 9 or week 10. So definitely was able to kind of say some feedback in regards to that. But I will be sending out kind of an email of what was discussed so that we can kind of talk through it as a council and see where we want to go from there. Because he would really like meetings with more individuals in leadership positions and in student organizations. Besides that, I also had a gender recognition at implementation committee meeting. Also, we had the student union director open forum that I attended, got to talk with a lot of our advisors about the past couple of weeks. In addition to that, we also had our UC Council of the Presidents meeting, got to hear from other folks and how their campuses are at the moment. In addition to some other things, me and other USAC members had our MSA meeting where we came up with some action items that I'm continuing to work on within my office. Also had, sorry, just going down the list. Yeah, most people in my office were still working on bringing people to the Seat at the Table initiative. We've been going to various clubs at letting folks know about USAC, what we're doing, what funding bodies are open at the moment. So hopefully we'll be able to use that engagement a bit more. And besides that, yeah, we're just continuing to work, and I'll put the other updates onto the document later tonight. Alicia, was there a question?
Yeah, I know you got a chance to meet with the chief of police, but I just had a quick question. Did you ever bring up or discuss like what happened at the regents meeting and the fact that students almost got arrested and did get brutalized? Was that ever a conversation?
That was not a topic of conversation. Unfortunately, it was a quick 15-minute meeting. That was all that was kind of allotted for, but I did bring up the helicopter over the vigil that we had discussed towards the end of the MSA meeting. But I can definitely email and talk about and bring that up as well if you would like.
Yeah, please. Thank you.
Sounds good. Thank you. Okay, now we'll be moving to Megan.
Okay. Sorry, I'm emailing Ella right now, but I can move into my officer report. So the appointments review committee conducted about 2 ARC interviews over the past week. We have 2 scheduled currently, and then me and Josh, AIVP, met with OFSL, Student Wellness Commission, and Overdose to further discuss how we plan to make Narcan and Narcan trainings more accessible. We will be attending OFSL's all chapter presidents meeting during week 10 and outreaching to all Greek councils. Me and my administrative relations director, Mari, stopped by the ASUCLA Fall Entities meet and greet, and we saw several ASUCLA BOD members and council members. I attended the meeting with the Muslim Student Association alongside most of the council members to address issues and come up with more action items to advocate for safety. Me, Eva, and Evan actually had dinner with Michelle, the USC student government vice president, and Kayla, her chief programming officer. We discussed a couple of different topics that's in the officer report. I met with UCLA's Jakarta Movement chapter to follow up on last week's Sikh Heritage Month resolution and further action items we could take to accurately represent Sikh students on campus. We discussed various ideas, including sending the resolution to admin, meeting with all different organizations on campus, between USAC and students, advocating to the academic senate with like library things and like seminars, and limited space on campus for students as well, and in general just advocating for more visibility. I had a meeting on Monday with Clara from CalPERG, and we discussed co-sponsoring a future resolution. and other initiatives on campus. I wrote that resolution guide, so if you would like any like support, like writing a resolution, please reach out, and then I can print out like physical copies as well for each office. I held my exec meeting and my all staff meeting on Monday, so if you'd like to go to that or look at our committee updates, please look at the officer report. The True Bruin Raise Award nominations are open and they close in January though. But basically you can nominate a USAC student who has helped out a fellow Bruin in need of support or in crisis and shows our True Bruin Raise values. You can nominate someone in the link in my officer report. My exec team is currently working on a SFAC bylaw change, a FICOM bylaw change, adding the Distinguished Teaching Award Selection Committee to the bylaws, our OFSL Narcan Accessibility Initiative, and researching the process for adding a training for UC students online. We're going to follow up with action items for the Sikh Heritage Month resolution, and then we're planning our social, and we're having individual committee and director check-ins. And then, as always, I hope everyone's doing okay, and I hope you guys all have a good break.
Thank you. Now moving to Eva.
Hi everyone. Everything's pretty much in my officer report. But I guess I did want to flag that I did meet with the housing directors at each UC and we discussed affordability initiatives. Overall, I'm like not impressed, but I'd love to have later chat about that. And there's gonna be a doc link to my officer report about that. And with the Association of Big Ten Students, we received a one-pager from them, and so I'm just gonna bring it to council next week, and so I guess admin can see it and hopefully make our joining that official. And that's it for me. Everything's on the officer report.
Appreciate it, Eva. Okay, so now Ella's here, our appointment for today. So we'll go ahead and jump back up to appointments and then finish off our officer reports, okay? So reminder about appointments, we give them their 1-minute introduction statement. Then we open it up to a brief question answer period from council members. Then we give the 1-minute closing statement. After that, we hear from ARC and their deliberations, their vote, what they had, and then they're here for their brief statement, go into a period of any comments, concerns from council members, and then put it to a vote. So with that, we'll go ahead and start with Ella. And this appointment is for Academic Senate Committee on Undergraduate Admissions and Relations with Schools. And whenever you're ready, go ahead and begin.
Hello, everyone. My name is Ella Kohler. I am a 4th year and 2nd year transfer student. I use she, her pronouns. I'm majoring in sociology and I'm applying for the CORS position, and I currently sit on the SIOC committee as AIR's outreach coordinator. And I'm also working this year for RAIN, which is Retention of American Indians Now, on the CRC side as their admin assistant. And I look forward to the rest of this interview.
Thank you so much for your time. All right, let's begin with any questions. Any questions from council members? Tara, go ahead.
Given the history of the SIOC committee, particularly with certain communities feeling like they are left out or have been discriminated against based on the color of their skin or whatever mother org that they belong to, how do you plan to ensure that each access project feels that they have equitable support within that space?
Yeah, that's a great question. I plan on really coming to the committee from a very neutral space. I really want to support everyone in all projects within the SIOC committee. I just came to our last meeting and talked to them about just like our plan within QUARS for the rest of the year. And I want to start implementing sort of like everyone else's ideas and sort of just being like a representative from the SIOC to QUARS and to get everyone's opinions. And I just want to be a very equitable representative for all projects.
Thank you. Sujana?
Yeah, so I would just like to ask, I think, 2 different questions. The first question is that SPARS as a committee deals with like undergraduate admissions, so outreach to K-12 schools to improve equity in UCLA admissions. So I think we could get into positionality as a member on SIOC. How do you see yourself being able to kind of contribute to that mission of making admissions more equitable for everyone?
Sorry, it was a little hard to hear, but your question was just basically how to make admissions more equitable for everyone.
Yes, please.
Yeah, so as I said, like I definitely want to be just super transparent with all the projects, and I really like value all the other projects' opinions and their ideas within admissions. Also part of our like plan for the SIOC committee, we have to visit other project sites, which I'm really looking forward to this year. I'm planning on going to Pier's site, and then we are also I have a few more sites that throughout the winter and spring quarter that I'll be able to go to. So I'll really get firsthand experience of what these projects are doing, how they're supporting their students, and some of the issues that they may be facing in admissions. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask one question and then we'll go back to Tara. Can you tell me why you would like this position, this appointment, and then what skills will you be using from your other various hats, roles on campus to aid in this appointment if you are to receive it tonight?
Yeah, so I really want this position because I just feel like I am a pretty qualified person for the job. I have been involved on the CRC side, like I said, with Rain. I understand like the challenges it takes just getting into universities in general, the application process, challenges within communities at home, just getting through school in general is an extreme challenge. And then I've also had experience working with students and navigating the university itself. I am greatly interested in just like bettering my community and just advocating for bettering. I've specifically like the Native community is where I've spent a lot of my time, but I feel very grateful that I've had the chance to now be on the committee and being around other students and their projects and hearing their, challenges that they're facing. And yeah, I just really want to advocate. I want to help students. It's something that I've tried to, being a transfer student, I feel like you kind of have a short time being at university, and I'm kind of trying to make the most of this position. And I think that also in terms of the committee this year, we have a lot of new students that everyone is kind of involved in lots of different projects and lots of different spaces. And I think in terms of the SIOC committee, I think not a lot of students were really prepared to take on another role. At least it seemed like no one really had the capacity to do so. And I was someone who kind of stepped up into that position and felt like I was able to take on this role.
Thank you. And back to Tara.
Yeah, sorry, y'all. But I kind of wanted to clarify my original question a little bit and then ask a second one. So given within the SIOC space, I personally know that there have been certain access projects who have been impacted by certain racial climates, particularly as it relates to CPO. So how do you plan to make sure that those particular projects in I cannot say the word, but specifically access projects like SHAPE, how do you plan to ensure that those projects who represent much racially marginalized communities kind of feel supported within that space? I know historically SHAPE has not felt that way, and that is something that SHAPE still feels to this day. And then secondly, how do you feel about like the current state of access projects and their support for community colleges and just increasing general access for transfers within the SIOC space?
Yeah, to go back to that question, this year I'm actually on the subcommittee along with Cassie, who's also part of USAC as well. And something that we're trying to work on, because I know there's been kind of an issue within SIOC of also sometimes not having, being like accurately represented, especially sometimes maybe through even your own project. And so we were kind of trying to create sort of a platform or form to fill out that projects and people working within the projects, not even just like OCs or PCs, can fill out that will go directly to the SIOC. So any sort of like issues that they may be having that they don't feel comfortable presenting like directly face to face with the committee, they'll be able to send this form to us that we can all plan on sharing at the beginning of the meeting and then going over it as a committee as a whole. I think that kind of, in a sense, like will allow just more transparency amongst the projects and kind of like it's a little bit less of a way to directly approach maybe an issue you might be having within your own project, within other projects, and sort of like just allows for more communication and clarity amongst students. And then I also really want to build my relationships with other committee members more. This is my first year on the SIOC committee, so I'm kind of learning as I go, but I think the first quarter is kind of a little bit of a learning curve. And then I think as we just go on throughout the year, I think slowly relationships are starting to form better amongst everybody. And then for the second part of your question, you were discussing about supporting transfer students. So part of trying to find. So since part of the subcommittee that I'm on is for admissions and yield, so I will be attending along with Cassie the transfer yield coordinator like meetings. And this is typically going to go on in the spring. But we're planning on kind of like just seeing how the transfer yield coordinators are events, how they're planning on like programming them and sort of like what events they're planning on having for our transfer students. And maybe coming to QUARS and seeing like ways that they could support their transfer events in order to like gain more prospective transfer students at UCLA. So, and I'm also a part of ASA. I'm their transfer yield co-coordinator, so I will also be involved in that as well. Yeah, did that further answer your question, or is there anything else you'd like me to expand on?
That makes sense. Thank you.
Okay. And then Megan had one last question, and then we'll hear your concluding statement.
My question is, I don't know if you can hear me great, but my question is, what's your kind of knowledge on the Academic Senate Committee on undergraduate admissions and relations with schools so far? And how do you plan on like bridging like the SIOC and SWARS?
Yeah, so from my understanding, the Committee on Undergraduate Admissions and Relations with Schools, you guys kind of come together with admissions and faculty and sort of discuss issues that go on within admissions for students. I'm not too sure exactly like what exactly goes down in those meetings. I know that I will be taking notes and then presenting them to the committee from what I've found. I know I think have time to sort of present any sort of issues or maybe suggestions that I have to the committee. That is sort of the general knowledge that I have, and I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more information about the expectations for myself in this role as well.
Thank you. Okay, let's hear your 1-minute closing statement.
I just want to say thank you all for taking the time out of your night to interview me. I'm really looking forward to hopefully fulfilling this position. I think I would be a really good advocate for this position, and yeah, I really value all your guys' time. Thank you so much.
Okay, let's hear from ARC and their recommendation.
ARC voted Ella with a 3-0 vote, and our statement reads, Ella is a highly qualified candidate for this role. As someone experienced with retention projects and in the SIOC, we believe she is knowledgeable enough to advocate for students within the Academic Senate. She is passionate about ensuring communication and initiatives and ideas between the SIOC and the Academic Senate. And with this said, the Appointments Review Committee recommends Ella with a 3-0 vote.
Thank you. Okay, so now we'll open up to a brief deliberation period. Do folks want to raise any questions, comments, and last-minute concerns? sorry. Let's see. Sujana?
Yeah, I'm traveling, so hopefully you all can hear me properly. But I just wanted to say that, like, kind of to contextualize Ella's appointment as well, that this appointment is actually part of a special bylaw that mandates that AAC actually partners with SIOC to make this appointment to QUARS because, like it was, we did find it so important that SIOC has their voice represented on a committee that's all about undergraduate admissions. And Ella, like I went to the meeting and Ella was super generous because it is like an extra time commitment. It involves like certain responsibilities with the commission as well. So she was really generous and like volunteering to take on that position. And I'm really glad that I was also able to be that voice. I think it'll be really fair and equitable. So yeah, I think she's like a really great candidate, and I was able to meet her even before all of this at like the ISA welcome event. So I hope you all vote yes. And yeah, I appreciate all of you guys' attention.
Okay, thank you. If there's nothing else, can I have a motion?
I motion to appoint Ella Kohler for the Academic Senate Committee on Undergraduate Admissions and Relations with School for a 1-year term.
I second.
Megan motions, Alicia seconds. All in favor, please raise your hand. Okay, please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. With a vote of 10-0, that is approved. Congratulations, Ella.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. And thank you, Sujana, for that extra comment. I really appreciate it. And I am really looking forward to this role.
Thank you. All right, have a good one. Okay, now moving back, I don't believe Katie's here. So we'll be moving on to Gabby with your officer report.
Yeah, okay. Hi, everyone. I wrote a statement in response to clarify what occurred last week. So I want to read that out loud. On November 9th, 2023, in the office that I share with General Representative 3, I asked how the planning was going for the Latinx Resource Center since it was tabled during the previous meeting. He expressed that he wanted additional groups to be added as co-signers to show the widespread campus support for the center. Since I'm a member of Hillel and we have a vibrant Jewish Latinx community, I told him that I'd be happy to get Hillel to sign the resolution. He responded that he did not want Hillel to be a part of it. I asked him why, to which he replied that he did not want the Israeli-Palestinian conflict to overshadow the center and that Mecha had already sided with the Palestinian groups. I told him that this felt anti-Semitic because Jewish Latinx students also wanted to be represented and are not tied to the conflict. He ignored me. 5 days later, I followed up over text writing, "Hey, just wanted to check in again. I spoke to Hillel folks who would be very down to sign the resolution for the Latinx Center. Let me know what you think." General Representative 3 also ignored this text before the start of our November 14th council meeting, which led me to believe that Jewish Latinx students were not welcome to be part of the center or to utilize its resources. I then sent an additional text saying, "Are Jewish students going to be welcome at the center? I love the resolution and really want to support it, but I don't feel comfortable voting on this right now. There's a pretty large Latinx Jewish population on campus, and I'm not sure why they would not be included." While not explicitly expressed in the resolution, once I knew one group of students were not going to be allowed to be added as co-sponsors, it made me question if those same students would be welcome at the center. At the November 14th, 2023 council meeting, where we were voting on whether to sponsor the Latinx Resource Center, I wanted to clarify whether Jewish Latinx students would be welcome as part of the new center before signing on to this resolution. Jewish Latinx students are a significant part of my constituency, and this is an issue of deep importance to them and to me. As soon as I began my questioning, the General Representative 3 sent me 2 texts in response at 6:29 p.m. and 6:32 p.m., which he read aloud, although still not addressing the specific concern. After some back and forth, General Representative 3 confirmed that all Latinx students would have access to the center. As a result, I voted in favor of the resolution. It is still unclear to me why General Representative 3 did not want the Jewish Latinx community to sponsor this resolution. Out of respect for General Representative 3, I did not want to disclose this information. However, the responses I received have prompted me to present all the facts. In conclusion, if the Latinx Resource Center went ahead as originally conveyed to me as a place on campus not welcome to Jewish Latinx students, this would have been discriminatory and in violation of federal and state laws and UC policies. That is why I advocated to table this resolution until I received assurances that such discrimination and illegal conduct would not occur. I look forward to partnering with my fellow council members on this new center and seeing how it helps empower and support all Latinx students at UCLA. That is my statement, and if anyone has any clarifying questions, please feel free to reach out to me. Thank you.
Moving to Jonathan.
Yeah, I firstly would all my information is in my, as always, where it is my general weekly reports, but I also have a statement that I'd like to say. A recent US Census estimate released states that by 2060, 1 in 4 US inhabitants will be Latine. They may be Jewish, they may be Catholic, they may be Muslim. They can be queer, they can be Black, brown, or any unique element. All this to say that the Latina group is incredibly diverse, that it has been far too long for the Latina community to not have a space on campus. We all deserve a space, and we hope that the space comes very soon to this campus. I do not represent the entire Latina community at all, but it is essential that I stand behind what the organizations of my community openly voice and their perspectives against issues such as colonialism. The successfully passed resolution was a preliminary step in this process of establishing the center. It's one of the many lengthy steps yet to come, and council members expressed that they wanted this resolution to delay longer. This resolution did not establish the center, but expressed the council's support for the center, among other recognitions of the Latina community struggles in this country and campus. The concerns of the General Representative and Financial Supports Commissioner are absolutely legitimate concerns and should absolutely be kept in mind as the center begins its formation. However, the method in which they were brought up, as well as the intention with bringing up the question of Jewish Latina inclusivity, was not done with this community in mind, in my opinion. To be frank, I've never experienced such a blatant display of racism and xenophobia within my almost 4 years at UCLA until this past Tuesday. I find it disappointing to have heard these concerns a few days before the resolution was to be voted on, when the resolution was presented to council a week before voting. In a meeting, the council member was not in attendance, may I add, and was available the Friday before. I find it heartbreaking that someone I considered a friend for multiple years would choose to disrespect the decades-long effort of my community. I find it disrespectful that the involved council members sought to make a spectacle of the resolution my office diligently worked on for the past weeks. I find it disheartening that when asked by their peers to apologize and make amends, the council members prefer to deflect, rather than acknowledging their mistake and growing from it. I think this speaks much to their maturity, values, and professionalism. I find it alarming that the General Representative uses inflammatory language to continue instigating a problem that she herself has yet not to address. The organization she brings into question has a long withstanding history within this campus and has not stood with communities such as the Latina student community. Where was this organization when the 14-day hunger strikes to establish the Chicano Studies Department happened? Where was this organization when Black students were struggling to establish the now Black Maroon Resource Center? Where was this organization when other minorities on this campus sought solidarity and they remained quiet? They only provide their support now, in a time where they seek solidarity from student groups they have not stood with before. Additionally, one organization does not represent an entire community, a feeling I personally have experienced on this campus as a Latina student, where the Latina student organization has not represented myself. I find it hurtful that allegations of harming an entire community are being thrown around recklessly, while true acts of violence and harassment are happening worldwide every day. Furthermore, the General Representative intended to involve herself with this process as a means to enter a dialogue which did not call for her. True allies provide resources, and only that. And if politely declined, they do not further insist. The GR2's insistence only highlights her true motives. She attempted to usurp a resolution for a marginalized community as a means to gaining political clout on this campus. This comes especially relevant as there have been multiple calls by students and council members alike about the purpose of the General Representative position and its future. Furthermore, due to disagreements and constructive feedback from my office regarding collaborative efforts, the General Representative too sought this concern as a means of realizing a personal vendetta against myself and my Chief of Staff. I find it appalling that she used concerns of inclusivity of all Latina students as a means of getting even with me. I do not say all of this with an intent to attack. I say this out of a place of humanity and growth as people in this world. I ask that the involved officials hold themselves accountable in a way that myself and my peers have done so. I can only hope that the involved officers ask for apologies and extend solidarity to the Latina community in a way that demonstrates true solidarity. I wish you all to grow and understand the distinct perspectives that form my community. My faith in humanity is not shaken at all, that you all will reflect. If you wish to hear more about my community, I invite you as myself, as well as the various organizations on this campus that are Latina identified. We are open to you all and hope that you join soon and that together we can provide adequate resources for all communities on this campus. Thank you.
Moving forward with Sujana.
Yeah, definitely. I need to update my written document, but I'll provide some oral updates. I think first to highlight like activities going on within the office, primarily that we were able to kind of clean up the physical office and also do some work on the bulletin board outside. So from now on, the office will be more of a space that AAC members can visit and use regularly, which I'm really excited about. Also, as far as interim work goes, progress on the Little Libraries initiative has been moving, and there's a meeting with kind of all involved parties that could help find a space that's scheduled for November 29th. As part of that initiative, it's also going to involve coordinating with libraries on campus and also holding an art competition in which AAC will provide like a financial incentive to students to decorate the various libraries that we'll have up or to be able to design what they will look like. And so I'm really excited about all of those components. We're also still working on the pilot program for like mentorship with grad schools. And after meeting with the Dean of Anderson, it's exciting because he does definitely want to expand the programming and make it large scale. And Anderson has like the resources to do so. So hopefully it ends up looking good. We're also working on several initiatives that will like kind of take place before the quarter ends. So one being to open our Books from Bruins application for the winter quarter so we can proactively get students their reimbursements, as well as to launch a grad prep book rental program where students will be able to rent grad prep books from the AAC office and like take them home over winter break to study. And then we're also going to do like one kind of last physical event, which is the We're Not Really Strangers event that's happening under Upward Movement within my office. Besides that, other we're also kind of looking to like heighten the involvement of like various platforms and committees within the office with other USAC components, which is part of the reason that we're like having a special presentation today from one of my access and equity directors. In the future, I'm also planning on having AAC interns as well as academic senators attend the meeting, and I think it's like particularly important to increase communication between academic senate and USAC because just I think like academic senate is only being utilized more and more by USAC members, and so hopefully we can make everything very clear as to what's being discussed and how everything works. Besides that, I've also just been having meetings to like work on internal advocacy, including private funding, incomplete notations, and so on. The last and kind of exciting thing is that regarding 195 CE internships, which Eva spearheaded and I supported along with Xia that they actually one of our goals was to waive the cost of 195 CE internships over the summer, and that actually did happen just last week with the support of like admin. And so that was like a win, and then we're hoping to maybe like pivot our focus, even though that happened, to like expanding the financial services within 195 CE. So those are some of the biggest things from the last week.
Thank you.
Can I actually add one more thing? I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Just that regarding like the Opportunity for All initiative, and actually something that was mentioned at public comment is that at the Regents meeting they were going to announce that the Opportunity for All plan like they were going to announce like that kind of final implementation, but that announcement itself was put off. And so like in like regards to that, I want to, and I will be like reaching out to ideas and the Undocumented Student Network to hopefully put out like a kind of an information and advocacy guide on the issue, and maybe put pressure on the Regents to follow through on their promise.
I think that sounds amazing. Okay. Now moving to Campus Events Commissioner Mason.
Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's. Oh, sorry. I thought my screen got messed up. Hope everyone's doing well. Happy Thanksgiving week. Not too many updates. They're all on the document, but a couple upcoming events to close out the quarter. We have Groove Garden, which is our vinyl DJ concert. The first time that we're doing that. It's coming Thursday, November 30th. That should be really exciting. And then we have one more screening to close out the quarter. It's a holiday screening on December 5th. And there's going to be like an ELF screening because it's the 20th anniversary of ELF this year, which is very cool. We're also working on a petting zoo collaboration with SWC, shout out Janice, that we can hopefully get to happen week 10. We're working on like booking the space and like securing that right now. So hopefully that can come to fruition. And yeah, we're still working. I've mentioned this a couple times, but we're working on like a part 2 to our Earth Sessions concert that we had in the beginning of the quarter. We're trying to do like another like speaking event with the intersectional environmentalist and the common experience at UCLA. We are trying to get in contact with Kimberly Crenshaw, who's like a professor at UCLA, and she coined the term intersectionality. And we would really like to have her at this. So if you guys know any way to contact her, please let us know. We've been trying so hard. But yeah, let us know. And extra stuff, random stuff, we are still doing our Golden Voice like giveaway. So follow us on Instagram, UCLA CEC for that. And yeah, we had our all staff meeting on Monday. That was like our first all staff with all of our new hires. So it was really nice to like introduce everyone to CEC and everything. And yeah, we've done like a couple socials this past week with different staffs. And yeah, that's it. But yeah, have a good day, everyone.
Thank you. Okay, Chia Ying. Wait. I could have sworn Chia Ying was in the Zoom. Okay, well, moving forward. Now we will go to Alicia.
Hi everyone. First and foremost, just want to express my support to Jonathan's office. I really appreciate all the students that came to public comment as well, from Grupo Folclórico, La Gente, and even like the Mexican Jewish student that came to defend Jonathan over what had happened. But on to my updates. We have we have 4 events next week, including, we have 5 events next, 4, 5, I don't remember, but let me just go through them. So on Monday, that'll be our last general body meeting. Our general body meetings have really good turnouts, and we're excited to just like close off the quarter with them. Last general body meeting we had last week, we had political education and poster making for the overall and UC Divest rallies. And I was able to be in the room when the police brutalized us and threatened to arrest us. So I really do hope that Naomi get a chance to talk to the chief of police over what happened. And if Sujana, you'd like to work on supporting overall together, I'd love for more collaboration to help ideas in the undocumented student network. Next up is what we have planned with in collaboration with 300 Entertainment is a Hot Lotties event hosted by Megan Thee Stallion. She won't be here, but she does have a special message to give us, and there will be merch such as tote bags, shirts, and water bottles. We are hiring an instructor, one of the only like 2 Black-owned Pilates studios in LA. So I'm very excited for her to come. I think Pilates is often seen as like this rich white woman like scene, and I think that's really disgusting. So I'm excited for that to be for that to happen. And that's gonna happen on Thursday, November 30th in John Wooden Center. The specific room I can't remember off the top of my head, but you'll see it in the graphic soon. And next we have like 2 de-stress / study nights next week. One will be with World Fest. World Fest is a 2-week-long event that happens in the spring, series of events that happen in the spring, but they kind of wanted to do something, obviously, because they're really eager to work. So they're gonna have like a de-stress event with like snacks from different cultures, and just like different things, like especially like fidgets and stuff that are culturally like conscious. next Tuesday, and then the day after, we're gonna have two events: a word on Wednesday, and then a study night / study day with interns, because they also want to do something. We're also going to be starting up our podcast with intern series, like before the quarter ends. So I'm imagining like week 10 we'll have the first podcast up. And then we have a sound bowl session that our concert series is doing week 10 to kind of just like close out the quarter, which is really exciting. But it'll be an open space in, I think, the Sunken Gardens. And we're also discussing ARC initiatives. ARC hearings are on a rolling basis right now, and we're just getting to hear a lot of like the struggles with like student orgs and funding. So we're working on initiatives on how to mediate that and see ways to like, I guess, continue to support like student orgs, culturally centered student orgs, like especially because of like how much culture nights are costing, like grad events and admit weekends, et cetera, et cetera. And then our applications for ARC staff will open this week once the graphic gets posted, but we're doing good with our hearings, so no worries there. We also have a diversity tour week 9 next week on Sunday, and it's going to be to historic Filipino town, and the RSVP will be up soon along with the graphic, so just be on the lookout for that. It'll be a really cool tour to historic Filipino town, and food will be provided, transportation will be provided, and obviously like historical and present like day conditions and history of the space of the area will be part of like our education aspect of our tour. And we also have a current giveaway right now by CAC Concerts to 2 tickets to Im Triplin and 2 tickets to Leon Thomas. So if you guys like those artists, you should go participate in the giveaway. And then also we're working on HHC. The theme is finalized. HHC's Hip Hop Congress. To those of you who don't know, we also secured our venues, and we're just figuring out sponsorships and stuff as well. But the theme is finalized and our committees are getting to work. And then we also did finalize the World Fest theme for this year and the Jazz Reggae Fest theme. I can't say yet, but very exciting stuff's coming. But that's all I have for now.
Thank you. Okay. Evan isn't here, so hopefully there's written reports on there. Sarah?
Hi everyone. Most of my stuff will be updated on my written report. I had sent out a statement earlier, which I'm sure most of you have read, so I don't really want to go into I don't feel like I need to read that one, but I do want to emphasize some points. And I'm more just so speaking from the heart. But one, I think that the actions of FSC, and I would like to emphasize that the actions of FSC and GenRep 2 were not to be malicious at all to the Latinx community. I want to reiterate my support for this center because it is important for Latinx students to have a space on campus and is long overdue. That being said, we had addressed legitimate concerns that we had, not out of nefarious intentions for the General Representative 3 or out of a personal vendetta against the General Representative 3, but because we had heard about, or I had heard about this issue from Gabby. Gabby had addressed this issue personally, and we thought that it was important to stand up for this issue. We had talked to Jewish Latinx students who were concerned once we about this issue because Jewish students are largely not feeling safe in spaces, and the Jewish Latinx community had expressed concerns to us. Jewish Latinx students who wanted to be part of this resolution had nothing to do with past activities of Hillel, nor should be associated with the actions of the Israeli government. we also, I think I want to stress that we voted in favor of this resolution, because we really do in fact support the center, but this center cannot. We were, I guess, worried about the procedures that were in place. And then finally, I wanted to emphasize that Gabby's, I think, concern to the question of why Jewish students were not included in the center was not fully answered, and why they weren't included in the resolution specifically. That was very, I think, like when I talked to Jewish Latinx students and just as a Jewish student, that was concerning for me, and I think that deserves to be answered, because again, Hillel does not represent the actions of the Israeli government and should be included in a space that is for this community if they wanted to support. Yeah, that was pretty much it. Do you have any further questions? Please email me, please DM me. But yeah, that was it.
Thank you. Moving on to Janice.
Hi everyone. I have written updates, but very I don't want to. What do I say? Echo chambery. Some of the announcements that I would make would just be repeats. So CEC collab, the petting zoo, and like what Megan said, working on the end overdose IVP collaboration to implement Narcan resources and requirements in Greek life. And then we are refreshing our office to prep for the reopening of the peer support lounge, which was an initiative started last year, so that our office can be open for non USAC people to come and use like our microwave or fridge, have food, serve treats and de-stress tools during midterms and finals, things like that. So look out for that, and happy holidays, everyone.
Love that that's making a comeback. Cool work. Okay, now we'll be moving on to Tara.
Hi everyone. I hope that y'all are all doing well and that y'all have a good Thanksgiving break and a happy Thanksgiving if you celebrate. I do want to express my continued solidarity with the General Representative 3 office, as well as the general Latina community. With the transfer community being largely Latina, I denounce the attempted punitive and racist measures that were discussed within this space. As council members, we are supposed to represent all students, no matter of their background, their religion, their racial identities, even their educational identities, if they're freshmen or transfer admits. In my email to you all, I stated that the USAC meeting that we had exuded explicit white supremacy, entitlement, and racism, and I still do believe that. Sarah, to address the statement that you sent, nowhere in my email did I attempt to erase your culture. You can be of a certain ethnic group and you can still perpetuate white supremacy and anti-Black racism. Unfortunately, this is not the first time that you have inflicted racial trauma on the TSR's office, especially on me personally as a Black person, as a Black transfer student. Over the summer, you attempted to limit funding to the transfer community, which is the most diverse identity-based group at UCLA. You attempted to surveillance funding to my office, which resembles the historical and racial oppression of Black communities and people of color across the world. And you sent a statement only addressing my office, me, and CAC, Alicia, when a few other offices also denounced your actions. I'm not sure how else to interpret this except but to interpret it as racism. I will no longer be working with your office until you have a conversation with me and directly address the things that you mentioned in your statement. And I still stand firm on denouncing the actions that you two exhibited in our last meeting. I also implore your offices to work with Latina student organizations within the realm of HSI and all Jewish student serving organizations, perhaps even Jewish Voice for Peace, on specific initiatives to address your particular concerns regarding the safety and the inclusion of Jewish Latina students if you truly care. That is what I have to say on that. In terms of actual updates on my office, I did release our internship applications. I got a few questions from Megan and Sujana, so if the rest of you do have questions, please let me know. I will be pairing one transfer student to your office so that they can work on a project that is related to the work that you all do, so that there can be accountability and I can ensure that there are transfer student oriented events coming out of each USAC office this year. That is something that I did not see last year, and I'm hoping that we can work on this year. I also released membership applications for the Transfer Unity Council. I understand that there were concerns regarding the Transfer Unity Council this past summer, so I did some things to make sure that it can still happen, given the concern. So that is what the internship and the membership applications are meant to address. My office is working on a few different things. The Transfer Student Center will be having their Transfer Pride Week in January. I implore you all to work with the Transfer Center to contribute to that week, because there were not a lot of offices who contributed to the week that my office held. Additionally, we will be trying to host a winter fest and a game night by the end of this quarter. We will also be working on a few different things for the winter, including an international student gala. Adam, we are hoping to collaborate with your office, as well as the TSR's first annual Mental Health Awareness Week. And Janice, I hope that you will support that as well. Again, if y'all have any questions about the internship, please let me know, and I hope to receive a lot of support in that endeavor as well.
Thank you. Moving to Adam. Oh wait, is Adam here?
No, he's not here.
Oh, sorry. Okay. Moving to Jessica.
Hello. First I just wanted to say great job, Megan, on the resolution guide. I thought it was very thorough and definitely much needed. So I just want to give you a shout out. Aside from that, I just wanted to also give a quick plug for the monthly open house events that we're having in Pamela's office, to just encourage you to come. And certainly if that time frame doesn't work out the best for everybody, if you want to just send a Slack or email and let me know what would be better for you. They're informal, but we are providing refreshments, and it's a great opportunity to just drop in. And if you have questions, want to chat about anything, let us know what's coming up for you that we can support you on. We want to just be available, so please do come to the next one if you're able. And then a couple other things. So just given the recent the last few weeks, the meetings, USAC meetings, and just hearing a lot of public comment from folks, and understanding that everyone's kind of having a hard time right now. Just want to make sure that you all know that we're available as a resource if you ever need to chat. And it doesn't have to be council related. If you just need to vent about other things, you all got a lot going on as students and as student leaders. So I just want to give that friendly reminder, and also let you know that we are, as an advising team, working on doing some de-escalation and conflict resolution training for us all, just to be able to help support you all better, and just help be an added resource at your meetings. So just wanted to share that, and if there's anything else pressing for any of you, please feel free again to reach out by email, Slack, however is easiest for you to communicate, and we'll see you all next week. Thanks.
Thank you. And I'm just going to quickly go over some reminders from Orlando last time, but do make sure for folks that weren't able to register their office that you reach out to Soul immediately to make sure that gets done. In addition to that, if you haven't done the training that's required by all Soul organizations in order to, I guess, get that designated status, do make sure you do that. You have the 24/7 module that you can do as well, or you can go to one of their in-person or on Zoom leadership training things. Sorry if I don't know the correct words on that. I forget. Besides that, I think let's go to Lori.
Hi guys. I I hope that you have plans to do self-care over the very long weekend because there is a lot going on. I am off actually starting tomorrow, but I'm going to leave my Slack notifications on. So if anybody needs anything, any support, anything, I'm not going to log in and make a reservation for you, but I will support you the best way I can. And I will see you guys in person next week. So enjoy your decompression time.
Thank you. And then Jonathan? Oh wait, Jonathan's on vacation. Sorry. Now we'll go into old business, the grows and bag bylaw change that we saw last week. And basically, if anybody has any comments, concerns, we can put it to a vote after. Eva.
Yeah, hi everyone. So as Naomi just mentioned, this was brought to council last week, so I hope everyone's had time to look at it. The purpose of this bylaw change is just to make sure that future EVPs stay committed to our like mission of supporting student advocacy as well as supporting labor advocacy and the right to organize. So just codifying that, and it's really a simple bylaw change. And since I'm EVP and forwarding this, and the CRC voted 3-0 in support of it, I would love for this to be amended and approved. So I would like to motion to approve the USAC bylaw change for Article 4, Section D6.
Second.
Eva motions, Megan seconds. All in favor, please raise your hands. Okay, please lower your hands. All against, please raise your hands. All abstaining, please raise your hands. Okay, with a 9-0 vote, that is approved. Thank you. And next, we'll be going into our new business, which, Janice, question?
Yeah, so sorry, really quick. I have a similar, like really simple bylaw change that I've been meaning to get in. Could you guys remind me, is it CRC? Exactly like what the process is? I know that there's that form, and then I write like what needs to be removed or added. And then do I send it to you guys like over Slack, or does it happen at a council meeting?
I think best would be to send it over Slack to Eva or Evan. Eva, do you know who would be best to send it to?
Evan is the chair of the CRC. Yeah, I recommend you like in Slack, like Evan, me, and Gabby, at the same time. So one of us like definitely sees it.
Okay, got it. That was all. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, now we'll be moving to new business. We have the textbook affordability presentation with Sujana, and somebody else is coming, right?
Yeah, definitely. So I'm like traveling. I can't pull up the slides right now, but Katie is like actively joining. So she should be here in a sec. And she will be able to like display the slides and everything.
Katie will be joining as a panelist in just a second.
Okay.
And then I can go ahead and make her a co-host right now. So Katie should have access to share screen now.
Awesome, thank you. Do you guys want me to share the presentation, or Sujana, do you want to do that?
Katie, thank you.
Yeah, so Katie, you share because we just made you co-host.
Okay, got it. Let me find it. 1 second, guys. Okay, great. Can you guys see? Perfect. Awesome. So I will just get started then, so I don't take up too much of your guys' time. But essentially we wanted to just give you guys a brief rundown about course marking, basically its importance and also its future or potential future at UCLA. So first of all, I want to kind of just quickly go over what is course marking. Course marking can change, the definition can change based on the institution that you're at. But in California, course marking is actually required at community colleges, and at the CSUs. So the bill SB 1359 was the Public Post-Secondary Education Course Materials Bill in 2017. And that required that the CSU and the community colleges have a certain number of zero-cost textbook classes, or ZTCs. And so essentially what that means is that a certain quota of classes needed to be offered that had zero cost for materials. So that class would cost zero out of pocket for students. And this bill essentially made it so that the CSUs and the community colleges had to meet a certain number of classes offered that cost nothing out of pocket. The California state legislature strongly recommended in 2017 that the UCs follow suit, but they can't mandate it because the UC system has a very unique power in which I'm sure you all know they can't really be legislated. But this was strongly recommended to the UC system in 2017. At other institutions, course marking can also just be a mark on a class during enrollment, and something that is considered affordable. So if a class, some institutions have it where if the materials cost $50 or under, it'll have a mark that says that it's affordable. So students know maybe that this is something they can afford more than maybe another class is costing into the hundreds of dollars. So that is some definitions of course marking, but the one that is most important is the California portion. So why is this important? First of all, it gives students more power to make choices based on their financial situations. For example, a student can choose to take a specific GE that's marked affordable, like a ZT or a ZTC in the CSU system, so that they don't have to worry about paying textbooks. If you're in the CSU system and you're trying to figure out what you should take and you see something marked as a ZTC, you know you're not going to have to pay extra money for that class. So you might want to take that class over a different one. It also, because of this, encourages or mandates faculty to use more student-friendly material. This is really important when considering UCLA because UCLA has 27% of its undergrads are Pell Grant recipients, and I believe the UC system as a whole has about 33% as Pell Grant recipients, which means that people exhibit an exceptional financial need and they cannot afford to spend hundreds of dollars on course materials. That was an accident. And finally, it also encourages the use of open educational resources. So open educational resources are materials that are published under an open license. It makes them free to edit and to share, and it promotes the idea of accessible and diverse education without a paywall. It also kind of takes away concerns regarding data, which we have to give up to publishing companies through programs like Inclusive Access, which is what we use now. Programs like course marking and promoting affordability encourages use of things like OERs, which comes without, kind of the data concerns as well as the cost concerns. So the current status of course marking in UCLA nor any school in the UC system uses course marking in any capacity. So we don't even have a price transparency system, which basically would just publish the expected cost of class during enrollment. Part of that is because at UCLA and throughout the UC system, but specifically at UCLA, we are very much a faculty-run system. So the Academic Senate is essentially the only policy-making body that there is. So it's very difficult for an outside organization or even just students to try to make policy or push a policy like this. It's something that you would need the Academic Senate to kind of be on board with. When it comes to things such as price transparency, it sounds like a lot of professors don't actually give or even know the price of the materials they're going to use during enrollment. So that's kind of one of the reasons. And the other reason is that the bookstore just doesn't publish. The bookstore and the registrar just don't publish the material that they have when it comes to price transparency. So even if they know the material, the cost of the material during the time of enrollment for a specific class, it's just not published. That's just not something that we even have here at UCLA. The other thing to note when it comes to course marking at UCLA is the bill AB 2624, which has passed the California legislature. It essentially strongly encourages the University of California to display the estimated course materials for 75% of courses offered on the registrar. So this is kind of talking about the idea of price transparency. It's not necessarily the idea of course marking, as I mentioned with CSUs and CCs. That's a little bit different because that has a quota based on what affordable might mean. This is more of a price transparency bill. And this, like I said, has been passed, but again, it only puts pressure on the UC system, but you'll notice that this is not a mandate because, as we mentioned, this is not something we can do. We can't mandate the UC system in this way. So again, it's very strongly recommended. I know we have people from the UCLA that actually worked on this bill. So this is something that has been worked on for years before it was passed through the system this year. So the future of course marking. Again, because the university cannot be mandated by the California state legislature, it's kind of up to us as students to push for what we think is best for ourselves and our community. It's also really important that we work in a collaborative way with the academic senate because, like I said, they're really the policymaking body when it comes to academic policy. We also presented a course marking sign-on I think at the very end of last year to this council before. And so we're working on different initiatives that would implement course marking at UCLA. And we wanted to just kind of bring this to you so you can see like what we're working on as an office at the Academic Affairs Commission. And also so that as we come forth to USAC with different initiatives, you'll know what we're talking about and hopefully be able to support us more in the future when it comes to something like this that can, help our communities. So that's, I think, the end of it for my presentation. I'm going to stop sharing right now, but if anyone has any questions regarding what I just presented or any questions regarding textbook affordability, course material affordability, feel free to just ask.
Yeah, Jonathan?
Yeah, thank you so much for the presentation. Absolutely appreciate it. And I'm very excited to hear about textbook affordability. I worked on books for Bruins and AAC, so it's very heartwarming to hear the different initiatives that your office is working on. I kind of wanted to ask, would this be implemented, if we wanted to implement it, would it be implemented kind of on a UC-wide level, or could UCLA independently implement it itself?
Yeah, so it could be either. What we've been going about is we've been trying to kind of do it at a UCLA level first and then go to a UC-wide level. This is something that would be mainly through our academic senate here on campus and also our registrar and our bookstore. So this is definitely something that we can do here as our campus first. It's something that we want to give the materials to other campuses to maybe mirror this or start a program like this at their campuses. And we're, I know, working on putting together kind of like an advocacy packet for other campuses. But yeah, this is something that we want to start specifically here first, and then hopefully take that further to the UC system. But this would be a campus by campus basis, simply because of like how enrollment works at each campus, and that's like very different per campus than it is in the system. So yeah, this would start at UCLA specifically, but it definitely has the potential to expand beyond that.
Thank you so much. And so John and Katie, both, if you need any support from my office as well, I'd be more than happy to work on it.
Thank you. We really appreciate that.
All right. Thank you, Katie, so much for your time. I really do appreciate the presentation. And yeah, we'll definitely be reaching out if there's any other questions or concerns. But thank you again.
Thank you.
Okay. So with that, looks like we are done for the night. So we'll go ahead and adjourn the meeting at 9:03 p.m. Thank you all for your time.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.